right now on the Power Chord Hour. I'm very stoked to be talking to singer and guitarist of the band who put out my favorite album of 2022. Very fitting to be having him on here. It is Leo from the band Reminders making his return to the show. We got lots to talk about. There's new music to talk about, going on tour with another great band, LOVEBREAKERS, his project Lantics, tons more, and probably talk about the record that I love so very much. So we're going to get into it all with Leo now. Leo, how you been, man?
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back. I've been good. It's been a very 2022 was a crazy year for a whole variety of different reasons. But yeah, I think I'm ready for 2023 and I'm feeling really good, man. 2022 was the most amazing year of my life, so I'm ready to do it all over again.
I guess for like people listening, if you want to like give last time you and I talked, the album had just come out. So this is like right when Best of Beach Punk came out. Like the rest of the year, what was kind of going on in the world of Reminders? I mean, did you guys get a chance to play much out? Did you get to do much like later on after we spoke with you?
Yeah, I think we spoke before we left for the tour. So you and I would have had a chat, and then we would have left for the Best of Beach Punk tour, which was cool. It was interesting. We went to some interesting places and met some interesting people, and that was amazing, really fun, and it felt amazing to like have a record out and be touring a record. And then so we did that, and then shortly thereafter I sort of went a little bit AWOL because I joined LOVEBREAKERS in grade 2 on the Social Distortion tour. So
nice.
So yeah, I sort of spent my summer touring Europe with LOVEBREAKERS, and ended up being in the band with them and playing fucking arenas and shit, and it was just insane. Yeah, so then I did that, and then yeah, so it was a crazy year. It was sort of like we put this record out, and the intention was to fully focus on this record, and then life sort of took me in another direction, and I had to do it. But yeah, then towards the end of the year, we started working on new music, and yeah, we're just sort of like ready to get all that out. And I think, the record came out in April, but I remember saying to you last time I was on that it was written when I was 17, 18, 19. And I'm 22 now. So I think I'm very excited to get something a little bit more current that feels like represents me now out there. So that's the focus now.
No, I do remember that. I was just thinking about when we were talking about like you were saying, like, it was great to get the record out into the world. It popped in my head because I was like, if I recall, yeah, it was not like you recorded the album and it came out right away. That was an album it took a while to like come out. So I'm sure there was like an extra side of like, oh fuck, this is finally out. I'm sure that added to it for the point that it wasn't like you recorded it and it was out next day. That sat a while. You had to wait a while to get it out.
It was a long time, man. It was years, really. I think that the first song we did was, I don't know, Post Paris Blues. Yeah, Post Paris Blues it would have been, and that we recorded that in 29, and I think maybe the end of 2018. I mean, it was a long time coming, and yeah, and it was a bit of like a Frankenstein record. It wasn't recorded as an album, and yeah, so I'm super proud of it. I love that album, and
which I gotta throw some credit to you too about that, because that was another thing we talked about, how it was kind of like, it wasn't all just recorded in one sitting and everything. It feels very focused. That was something for a shameless plug. If people haven't listened to my top 10 albums of a 2022 podcast, I mean, I talk a lot about this record, but like I haven't
listened to it yet. I have to listen to that.
If you want to hear me just kiss your ass for like 20 minutes, like, yeah. If you just want an ego boost, dude, I'd say go listen to that podcast. But like that was one of the things I was talking about, was like it does feel like it feels like a record. It doesn't feel like a collection of songs to me, even though I know, like you said, I mean, it is kind of a collection in a lot of ways, and it was, like it was recorded on and off and written at different times, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it was all kind of written in that one sitting. Like everything meshes really well, which sometimes it couldn't. That could also be disastrous. And it might be like, oh, it feels like you like kind of, this song was from 5 years ago and this song was from like this year. It didn't feel that way at all, which is good.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I'm relieved to hear that. I think, I think with this band, I know the songs I'm trying to write and the sound that I'm trying to get. And I'm very lucky to have two people in the band that trust me with it and are happy to sort of roll with it. And yeah, so I think, yeah, I'm pleased that you feel that way, but I think also I'm really excited at the prospect of doing the next record or a next record and making sure it really feels like an album. And I think by the way things are done in 2023 is you don't sort of go in well, I don't know, in my experience across the board, seldom do I go into a studio for a couple of months and make an entire record. You know, you sort of, it's drips and drabs, and you know, so I think it's an interesting way of making an album, but I think there's probably been a million albums now made that way, so I don't think we're unique. But you know, yeah, I think it was an interesting way of doing it, but I'm really excited to sort of not put it behind us, because that sounds negative, but you know, just sort of like, you know, that's 10 songs, okay, they're 10 fucking songs, and we can do more. And I've written loads of songs, and I just want people to hear the new shit. And you know, I think that's sort of it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Not like being a songwriter, and you know, trying my hardest to become a prolific songwriter too, where I can write, you know, a song like that, which again I think we spoke about last time. You know, it means that I'm sat on loads of songs and I just want to get them out.
Well, I mean, I can't blame you, because I mean, again, like thinking about it, it's like it's so weird, because it's like, in a way, wow, this record just came out, and not even technically a year ago entirely. Like it hasn't even hit its 1 year anniversary yet. But like we're talking about, these are songs that you had for so long that it's not like, oh, I just wrote all these songs last year and now I kind of want to break. I mean, these songs were well written so long ago. I'm sure you're ready to get more stuff out in the world. Like it almost, I'm sure it feels differently. Like again, for us listeners, the album's still fairly new. For you, God no, these songs go to back to your teenage years.
Oh my God. I mean, we've been playing Seaside Scampi. I can remember one of the first times we played that song, and we were at a pub called it was called Little Johnny Russell's. I think it's changed its name now, but that's what it was called. It's in Portsmouth. It's a cool pub, and I was maybe I had just turned 17, or maybe I was 16, and I remember playing it. I also remember it being awful. I remember my guitar being like totally out of tune, but I couldn't hear anything, and I remember being like, this doesn't sound quite right, and then being told afterwards that it was basically a fucking shambles. But yeah, so you know, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. When we have to play that song live, I'm a bit like, oh, my heart sinks a bit. I'm like, oh fuck, like you know, this isn't, you know, it's because I wrote it, but I find there's something a bit cringy about it, you know, having to sing something you wrote when you were, you know, 15 or 16 or 17 or whatever it was, with any.
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I mean, if I think of things that I wrote at 17, like, I mean, you know, I remember teenage bands and things I did. I would never, I can't imagine. I mean, though, also to your credit, your songs are much better than the things I was writing at 17, but I do get where you're coming from, where it's like, yeah, I wrote this so long ago. Like you might connect with it in a certain way, but I'm sure you don't connect with that song like you did when you wrote it. Like you're just not the same person.
No, exactly. I remember how it felt. I remember writing it and who it was about and what it was about, and I you know, that's what's so like cool and exciting about writing songs, is that like it's like a message in a bottle, or like a bit of a time capsule. You know, it's a flow of consciousness. It's like you know, that is sort of fossilized in a way, the way I felt on that day when I wrote it. And I think that's like a really beautiful thing, especially for somebody as, you know, soft and sentimental as I can be. I think, you know, I relish that. But also when you're, you know, trying to impress a room of 200 people or whatever it is, and you know, Harry does the and the song's in, I'm just sort of like, shit, here we go. I'm talking about, you know, a 15-year-old girl again.
Oh man,
I was 15 when I wrote it.
No, I mean, I can totally see it. And again, like you're in this, it's kind of this interesting position, because again, it's like people hear a lot of these songs and they do feel new to them and like everything, but it's like, no, like you've been living these songs so long and you've had them for so long. It's like, you know, I'm sure the next batch will be more of, you know, you currently, but like also with that, like with lyrics and kind of just writing about whatever you're writing about, whatever subject it may be, like, do you find yourself, can you write about something like right after it's whatever it is, like after it occurred, or do you need to sit with something and you feel, do you get what I'm saying? Like, do you almost write about things years after the fact, or can you write something about them like as they're happening, or as that feeling's fresh?
I think the fresher the better. I think it's quite hard to well, for me, this is just for me, but I find it quite difficult to go back and tap into an emotion. Although I feel like once you've experienced an emotion, you can, to a certain extent, go back to it and remember how it feels. But if you want something that's authentic, I feel like you just have to tackle it head on. Although I was speaking to my friend, a guy called Troy, who plays in a Canadian band called Out to Meter, very good friends of mine. We were chatting yesterday, and I sent him this new demo, and I just said I sort of have this tendency to catastrophize my life, sort of take something like quite minor, maybe, and like use it as a sort of storyline, or like, you know, the genesis of a song, which I think is quite funny because it's a practical thing, really. It's like it's a way of making a song when there isn't one, but it does make you seem to the outside world like you're delusionally emotional, because you'll be sort of writing this heartbreaking song about the most minor situation. But you know, I think in a way maybe that's a skill, or maybe I'm flattering myself, I'm not sure.
No, it's a skill. I was honestly just about to say that, because I've heard people talk about this. I want to say, like, one that comes to mind, like I love like Less Than Jake, their old drummer Vinny. He wrote a lot of their lyrics. I think he's a great lyricist, and I've heard him talk about that, where it's like, I think the talent of being an artist or a songwriter or whatever is like taking like a really simple 5-minute conversation you had with somebody and somehow making that into a song, and making it like, really, you got to kind of blow it up. Like, you have to, like, you take that one small event, you know, you have to blow that shit up. Like it makes it like so much bigger than what it is. But if you're just writing really simply about, say, just a simple conversation with someone, or just really matter of fact, I don't think it hits the same. I think you have to like make everything a catastrophe and kind of be a little dramatic. Like, I feel like that is talent. So no, I think that is a skill. I don't think you're blowing smoke up your own ass there. I think that's important to lyrics.
Well, the sort of I think we touched on this last time, but the sort of another toxic trait of mine is to name songs after girls or people, but mostly historically it's been girls. So if you sort of take this sort of weird catastrophization thing where, you know, you're taking something that's pretty irrelevant and minor and blowing it up, but then you attach a girl's name to it, you know, people look at you like you're fucking mental, because people are like, oh my God, you know, like, I spoke to this guy one fucking time. Do you know what I mean? I said one fucking thing to this guy, and now I've got a fucking song named after me. This guy needs help. And maybe I do, but I think the amalgamation of those two things is sort of, you know, it's quite hard to then explain to somebody that, you know, like, okay, I didn't really feel like that, but I used it, you know, I've.
No, it does, because if you wrote it again, like, just matter of fact, like, it's just a conversation I had with this girl one time, it doesn't, it's not what makes a song great. Like, you got to kind of, like, that is one place where I think taking liberties and maybe like exaggerating a little, it's like, that's maybe not a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, maybe
the song Daisy, and then Daisy thinks that you're in love with her, and Daisy, I'm not in love with you. Stop messaging me. I know you're watching this.
You know what? I'm speaking like the guy who doesn't have an album full of girls' names in the song title. So yeah, like, maybe it's different. Maybe it's different for you.
Well, you know, Daisy isn't a real person. That was just a joke. But
one of the best songs on the record, though, too, might I add.
Thank you. One of my favorites as well. And
you know what's funny about that? I think you asked me last time what my favorite song on the album was, and I fucked up, and I think I said the name of another song of a girl's name, and I meant Daisy. But I think I gave you the wrong song title. That was
Victoria, maybe.
That is. I think I told you Victoria, and I meant Victoria is great too. But Daisy is one of my favorite songs on the record. But yeah, I remember I fucked that up when you asked me. I got them mixed up. But yes, Daisy is one of my.
Interestingly, I remember last time we spoke. God, look at us, we're like old pals. But last time we spoke, I remember telling you. You asked, "Do I ever write a song based off a title?" And I said. I think I said not. I think I said on, yeah, but not on this record, which is a lie, because Daisy is one of those songs. I was speaking to my girlfriend at the time. Now we're not together, but we're still friends. And we were chatting, and I said, it was during COVID lockdown. And I said to her, you know, I want to write a song. Like, what should I write about? And I was like, just give me a girl's name. And she texted me and said Daisy. So the song is about my ex, really. But the title is Daisy. And so when you asked that question and said, yeah, did I write around a title? I absolutely did. And Daisy is that song.
Oh, nice. Was the first I mean, was the opening line your first idea of that song, the Daisy I've been going, like, was that the first line that came to mind of that, or no?
I was obviously feeling quite lazy, wasn't I? Because I just played an A chord and went Daisy, and I was away.
You wrote, you wrote, like, again, like I don't know, maybe not overthinking it either. I feel like which is also a great thing, I think, of the band, is like, I don't feel like you guys know what you do very well, and you do it great. And it's like, I feel like the album has a good flow with that, where it's like, I don't feel like things are overthought. I think like you were saying, I think you had a vision, you knew what it was, and you didn't like fuck it up with a bunch of added things that didn't need it. Like, it's a perfect, in my opinion, 10-song record, no filler. It hits you right away. It doesn't stop the whole time. It's a fun listen and a quick listen too. I also say that you'd be driving somewhere, you can listen to the whole damn record. Drive across town to go do something. You've heard the whole album. Yeah. You know.
Well, I love short. I think that's like my attention span is absolutely fucking ruined. And some records I love, but by track 7, I'm like, fucking hell, man. Like, I was gonna put something else on now. Like, it just loses me. And all of the best live bands I've ever seen, well, my favorite live bands I've seen, or the most exciting live bands I've seen, or the most captivating live bands I've seen, are 25-minute opening sets. I mean, that's what gets me excited. And I remember seeing the Menzingers, like, they were just they'd come through England. It was 2020, just before COVID, and they'd released a record that I loved and a couple of records that I love, and I was so excited to see them. And they played like an hour and a half, which isn't a long time at all. But when I was there, stood, and I was watching one of my favorite bands, and I was fucking bored. I was like, fucking hell, man, like, it's still going. And and no shade to the Menzingers, I love the Menzingers, but I think that was quite like a not sobering, that's a stupid thing to say, but like it was a bit of a revelation. I was a bit like, okay, like, this is one of my favorite bands, and I cannot be fucked to listen to them for an hour and a half. Nobody knows that my band even exists, so nobody's going to give us longer than fucking a half hour. So I love short songs, and I don't like fucking guitar. I hate guitar solos, and like anything that's a little bit grandiose, I sort of like, makes me feel a bit ill. So I sort of went for something pretty streamlined, and I think, to be honest, I think I want the next record to be even shorter. If you can imagine it. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if you listen to Joyce Manor at all, but they're kind of like that. They keep going, like, their last record was like 17 minutes long. Like, they just keep getting shorter and shorter. It's like, it's great. Which, to be honest too, and like you were just talking about, like, I mean, also I feel like where you're at as a band, people are still discovering you, and kind of like with live sets, it's like, including if I feel the same way, and including if it's a band, even if I'm discovering an opening band and they're great, but I'm not familiar with the music, I don't care how much I like it. If I don't know the music, 30 minutes is good. Like, even if it sounds good, right? Like, if you don't know it, it's like, I almost feel like you can turn people off. Like, first 30 minutes of that set, they might love you, but like 50 minutes in, they're like, God damn, I wasn't here for, like, I'm here for the other band.
It's a tough thing when people don't know your songs, especially in a live music venue where it's fucking really loud and you can't make out what anybody's saying. And, I don't know, it's quite difficult. So I totally agree. I think, but for me, and I don't know, I mean, I probably have undiagnosed ADHD or something, because even half an hour, I mean, that's testing my patience, man. Half an hour is a long for me to focus on anything. It's a very, very long time. So yeah, I mean, if you can do like a really sick 20-25 minutes, I mean, I think 25 minutes is probably long enough to make some sort of impact and impression. And on our record we get, I think it's less than 20
minutes. You can play the whole fucking album in 25 minutes. I feel like you can play your whole record.
Is it 27? I don't know. I feel like you might know more than I do, but it might be 27 minutes. And we get a slow acoustic song in there. I feel like we tell the story and we show fucking some different shades of what we can do, and then we're out your fucking way, and you can crack on and listen to the Beatles because they're way better than we are.
No, I love it. Like, I think, honestly, like, looking at my top 10 of last year, I feel like a lot of them were that. There's not a lot of self-indulgent, this is a 50-minute record or longer. There's no double discs. None of my favorite albums were like a triple fucking concept record. Like, I'm totally with you there. And you can still have, like you were saying, you can still have substance. Your record goes different places. There's different things in there. It's not like it's a half-assed idea. It can still all be in there. Just cut out the fat, or don't add like extra shit, Like, for you, like, me and you might have even talked about this, but like, are you someone like, like, your first idea is your best idea, or will you fuck around? Because I feel like you seem like someone where it's like, you have confidence in that initial idea, because some people don't. and what they end up with is so different from what they started with. Like they don't keep that original thing. And I feel like, at least listening to the music, I feel like you do, because you don't go a bunch of fucking wild places with it.
Yeah, I think I do and I don't. I think I never used to. I think I used to sort of sit down and I'd write a verse and then a chorus and then a second verse and then a bridge and then go back to chorus and that'd be it. But I think now it's a little bit more refined for me. I think now I have such a like sort of laser sharp focus on making songs that are catchy. I think that's the difference now. And I think writing a truly catchy song is a bit of a science, and I don't think it's something you have to think about. You have to really fucking think about it. You have to sit there and you have to be like, right, okay, here's what I've got so far. What do I want to change? And I think most of my new songs are more of like a, for example, like have 3 or 4 different verses before I settle on one, or like a different version of the chorus, or a different bridge, or a different intro. And I sort of try loads of shit now. Whereas before, probably most of the songs on the record, definitely, I mean, Carousel, I wrote in one sitting. Picturesque, I wrote in one sitting. Daisy, other than the outro melody on Daisy, the everything you say to me, everything you do, that came later. And I had to go back in and record that because I was just listening to the song. I was like, fuck, like this is sick. Yeah, like a lot of them, probably between now and 6:30. Victoria, I sung in the shower and came out and wrote it. But yeah, so most of that record was like a, you know, like I say, like a stream of consciousness. But this time, you know, the new songs and the way I sort of do it now, it's, you know, quite a time-consuming thing. And I might start with one lyric, and now if I come up with one good lyric in a day, or one good melody in a day, or one good section in a day, I don't force a whole song. I'm like, well, I can come back to that and add to it later. And yeah, recently I've had like quite a lot of success doing it that way. And I think I enjoy it more that way. Like I say, it feels more like a science. It's like piecing a puzzle together. It's like, you know, I feel like I'm there in like a fucking laboratory with like a lab coat on and some safety goggles, like fucking pouring potions in, like to this like fucking the ultimate power pop song. How do I do it? You know, and
you're in the hits lab.
Yeah, I'm in the hits lab. Me and fucking
John hits in the lab, dude. That's exactly what you do.
Well, I'd like to think, you know, that one day.
Like writing catchy songs like you're talking about, which I think you're already pretty good at, but like, is there, like, do you feel like for you, when you're trying to write a song and you're thinking of that way, like I want to write a catchy song, like, is there most important, like, is the hook the most important thing? Is the like, is it the chorus? Is there a specific thing? Does it change from song to song? I know it's probably personal for you too, but if you're writing a song with that in mind, I want to make this catchy, like, what is the biggest thing do you think that actually makes a song catchy?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, they say, don't bore us, get to the chorus. Which is like a little fucking thing that people say where, you know, when we're in writing sessions, or when I'm in writing sessions and stuff. But yeah, I think it's an amalgamation. It's like the lyrics have to be, for me personally, the lyrics either have to be really fucking specific, you know, to somebody's life, where they paint like a really fucking vivid picture. I don't know. I don't know actually. Well, those are lyrics I love, but I also love like Noel Gallagher lyrics, like Champagne Supernova. Like, it's fucking totally meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. But like when they're sung with such conviction and with like a really emotional melody, it gives them meaning in a way. Or you know, like, or super relatable lyrics. I love them as well. But I think, yeah, it's just about jamming in hooks wherever you can. I think like drums can be hooky, the bass can be hooky, you know, you associate hooks with lyrics and melody, fine, and vocals, fair enough. But I think, you know, if you think about like a band like Green Day is a great example. Like what I always say about Trey Cool is he makes hooks on the drums. Like you can sing his drum parts. And I think it's just all about, you know, thinking about a hook as how can there be something that's grabbing someone's attention every second of this song that they're going to remember? I think that, I don't know. I don't have to answer your question.
No, it does. And you're actually making me think in a different way too. Cause like, you know, I'm thinking so much on like you know, so much putting so much importance on the lyrical part, or like having a catchy chorus or whatever, but you're absolutely right. Like another part of that is the music side. Like, I mean, even your favorite Reminder song, Seaside Scampi, those drums in the beginning are fucking catchy. Like those do get you right away. Like, oh shit, yeah, that's great. Like that that shit's great. And like, those are things that like really maybe you don't think about, or you have obviously, but like even me asking you that question, I am thinking more of it in terms of like a melody or something more with like the vocals. But you're absolutely right. Drums and all that also play a huge role. Like there's tons of songs where catchiest part's the fucking drums.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the unfortunate thing for the drummers and the bass players out there is that without a doubt, you're right. Like it is the vocal melody and the lyrics is like the most fucking important thing, because that's what makes a song a song. Otherwise, it's just people fucking bashing pieces of wood like cavemen. And I mean, for me personally, I mean, I don't listen to much instrumental music, so I'm sure I'm biased. But yeah, I think in terms of best of beach punk, I think a good example of me trying to write a really catchy song intentionally is "If You Want It, Don't Let Me Down," because I think the verses are quite poetic lyrically. And I think that you've got the "Don't Let Me Down," and I think that section's quite catchy. And then it goes into Harry does another catchy fucking drum fill where he goes doom gadum doom gadum, and then it goes into "If you want it, if you want it, if you want it, you got it." And then we merge the "Don't Let Me Down" hook and the "If You Want It" hook for like an outro, and I think that's like a good example of like fucking just trying to smash hooks at people fucking constantly. And that's like one of my favorite songs. I really like that song.
That is great. That is a great song. You're right. There, you fit a lot. Again, like you pack a lot in, like a like a condensed version of like, it's not a long ass drawn out song, but a lot kind of happens within it. There's also like I know like you do like mixing and stuff. If I'm remembering, do you do like producing and kind of co-writing with other people and stuff? Do you do that side of it as well?
So, yeah, like, I love it.
Do you feel like you've gotten more like this? Because even hearing you explain this, like, I mean, I think I could talk to some songwriters and I don't know they could break it down as like, I don't even think their own music they could break down as specifically like that. Like, you're very good at breaking down and going, here's this part, this catchy. Like, do you feel like you've developed that from working with others? Or, I mean, just were you always like that? Do you feel like you kind of had that, like, you could dissect and break down music long before you started working with other people? Were you good at that just even working on your own music alone?
That's a good question. I think it's something that's like developed for me recently, but like it's something that I've become fucking obsessed with. I think when I started like liking music and becoming musical myself and being in a band and whatever, I think maybe I was trying to figure out what it was that I loved about music. And maybe I think for a long time I was like super attracted to the idea of like playing and touring and like being a very charismatic front person, and I still I'm very drawn to that side of it. But I think for me now, what I realized a couple of years ago was that like it's songwriting. That is the thing for me. It's not, I hate playing the guitar. I don't like the guitar. I'm not good at the guitar. And I learned enough about the guitar to know how to write a song. And then I fucking stopped because I do not give a fuck about being a shredder, right? But that's not to say that I love a good guitar hook and I can sort of fucking fudge my way around it. But yeah, and I just think I just realized that I was like, fuck, I don't give a fuck about, I went to a music college, right? And everybody was fucking obsessed with being the best player or the best singer. And my obsession was like, I want to write the fucking best song. And yeah, I think I sort of just realized, like I said, a couple of years ago that was my aim. And then when that sort of penny dropped, I then started listening to music totally differently. And so now, like, my appreciation for music's totally changed, and the people that I idolize or look up to or admire or want to be like has changed, sort of in parallel with that, because my sort of perspective on it's changed. And yeah, to answer your question, yes, I do also work with other people and produce with other people and write with other people, and it's the best. It's fucking like God's gift to me, is like being able to do that. So yeah.
Do you feel like you got more out of like doing shit like that versus going to like school for music? Because like which is actually interesting. Like I went in college, like I did take, I got like a degree in music, but it was like kind of a side thing. Like I was definitely not like fucking going to like Berkeley or anything like that. But I took music theory and like different things. And what I think I like learned from it, because I'm kind of with you. I was never that person. I was like, I like playing music and shit, but I don't need to be fucking whoever. I don't need to be a virtuoso. So I want to do what I do. But you would see those people, you would meet those people who are that way. But like, I think it fucks up your creativity too much of it. Like I watched even Friends, we would do like we'd take music theory together and we'd play together. And the more parameters you put on music, it like fucks them up. Like it almost like there's a real difference, I think, between trying to be a virtuoso, trying to be very good at your craft, just very good at guitar, or whatever, and actually writing a song someone wants to fucking listen to. Because like, to be honest, you can be a shredder and that's great. But that's not. When's the last time you put on like the radio and people were just listening to like a 13 instrumental, like a 13-minute just guitar solo? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's great what some people can do, but no one wants to listen to that. Like it's great you can sit there and like do that fucking cello solo from 300 years ago. But like, does anyone else want to listen to that? Do people want to come to your show and watch that? You know what I mean? There's
well, the only people that appreciate shredding is shredders.
Yes,
so,
yes.
But everybody appreciates a good song. So I think, but you know, I think I don't know. I think not everybody's capable of being a shredder, and I wonder sometimes whether I could, even if I committed my life to playing the guitar, whether I'd actually ever be able to fucking shred. But I also think in the same way, not everybody can write a song, and it swings and roundabouts. It doesn't make you any better if you can shred or if you can write a song. But for me, the valuable thing for me is writing songs that people like. And I think when you write a song, it's like one person might like it because they think it's catchy and they like the melody. One person might relate to the lyrics, right? So one person might love your voice or whatever it is, and it's like, when you're writing a song, there's like so many things to consider. But to go back to your point about music theory and shredders, I have so much respect for somebody like Max Martin or Jack Antonoff. These are like pop producers, so I'm showing my pop side. But these people, these producers that can write a fucking an amazing song, but also have the theory knowledge, and like you say, I think in some people the theory knowledge prohibits the creativity because you're so fucking sort of in this goldfish bowl of, no, you can't do that, or you can do this or whatever. But the people that have mastered theory in conjunction with
both sides of it,
that's fucking commendable. And I think it's rare, and I think is often seen at the very high level of pop music writing, because they can turn it on, they can just go like that, and it comes out. And that's the stage I'm trying to get to myself, but we'll see. It's a bit of a mountain to climb.
No, that's a good point, though. I mean, having a little bit of both isn't bad at all. I mean, having that kind of, because I feel like I always think of it as like one's in one camp or one's the other. But you're right. If you can mend them and make that bridge and like go, I can be a good musician, and I can like, I know the foundation of music and I kind of get it, but also, I can write a good song. I mean, if you can kind of find that middle ground, that would be a nice
You're away. I mean, like I say, somebody like Jack Antonoff, or to be able to be in a room with like Taylor Swift or Matty Healy, like these prolific songwriters, and be able to sort of go pound for pound for them in a songwriting sense, but then also be the guy to say, well, why don't you try this chord there, because I think it will do X, Y, and Z emotionally and take it to this place. I mean, fucking hell, at that point you're laughing all the way to the bank, because it's a rare breed of person that can do that. And like, but that's what gets me fucking giddy, man. Like that, I love that shit. Like I say, when I say it's like a science, that's what I mean. It's like, fuck, like, that's my Albert Einstein right there.
You are in the making of it, because you are doing both. You are doing that production side of it, but you also are like those guys. Jack Antonoff, think of all the bands he was in, but before anyone really thought of him, I feel like, as that prolific producer. I mean, fuck, I remember he was in Steel Train on Drive Through Records in like the early 2000s. Like, a lot of things like that long before you're ever known for that. So I feel like you're on the right path.
Oh, I fucking hope so. Thank you.
I think you are. I mean, guy who wrote best album of 2022. You can put that places. Guy who wrote best album in the year 2022.
You said it, not me. And I mean, it's an amazing honor. So thank you again for choosing us.
Oh no, absolutely. Thank you for writing a great record. And I mean, I was talking a little earlier. I mean, we were talking about you kind of getting around and talking about writing a follow-up to this. But on top of that, when people listen to this, you will have a new song out. There's a new Reminder song coming out January 20th, which actually right. I guess it's past if you're listening to this, because if you're listening on the podcast, the 23rd. If it's the radio show, it is the 27th. There's a rad-ass reminder song out. I have not heard it yet, though, so I need to learn more about this. Let me know. What we got a new reminder song. What can people expect out of it? I mean, that might be weird to describe your song, but describe the song a little bit.
Well, the song's called International Dial Tones, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's I wrote it a couple of years ago, and I was just, it's like I can't really tell you what it's about. Like it just sort of fell out of my mouth. I used to live in the States. I used to live in Osceola County, in Orlando, in Florida. So well, I don't know whether Orlando's in Osceola County. I suppose it's not. I don't know. Anyway, I was a kid. I was like 10 years old. So I've sort of always had this affinity with the States, and you know, and as I've grown up, I love the culture and all of that. So so the song sort of is a bit about this imaginary situation of, imagine if I sort of, you know, went to the States and fell in love again, catastrophizing, and then you come back and you're back at home and you try and call, but all you hear is international dial tones. So, you know, that's like the most cringy synopsis, but yeah, that's what I was trying to capture. And yeah, it was a bit of a collaboration with my good friend Jack from grade 2. He helped me write it, and our friend Toby. So the side project that I'm in, that I believe we're going to chat about in a bit.
Yeah.
So the two guys that I'm in the side project with, I collaborated with them on it, and it was obviously a reminder song, and yeah. So, but it's like just over 2 minutes. It's fast. It's probably our fastest song. It's got a guitar riff, actually. You know, for all the fucking bullshit I was just saying about how much I hate the guitar, it's probably like the first real guitar riff that we have, and I'm quite excited about that. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's like I said to somebody yesterday, it's like as close to you know, it's as comfortable as I feel sounding this close to the Ramones.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, I'm fucking stoked for people to hear it. I think people are gonna love it, and well, I love it, and it feels like a step in the right direction. It feels a little bit more mature. It's a love song, but it's a love song from somebody who's you know, experienced love now and wasn't just making it up when he was 17.
No, and I feel like you did a great job, because I feel like you definitely get put on the spot trying to describe your own song. I'm sure that can be a hard feat. I feel like you did a good job. I mean, Ramones and fast sounds cool, and a good guitar riff. It sounds good, which means people will hear it shortly, like when we play it. But like, just
promising. I don't want to promise the people too much. Lower your expectations, everybody.
No, I think it'll be good. Also, I mean, that's really cool. You got to work with like your other project, Transatlantics, working with those dudes from grade 2 and everything. Was this song, did it start out like you thought maybe it would be a Transatlantic song, or was it kind of always a reminder song, or kind of more into that, just working with those dudes?
It wasn't like a conscious decision to like sit down with those two guys and be like, oh, let's write a song. What happened is Jack and I, as long as we've sort of been friends, we've just WhatsApped songs to each other. I mean, you don't use WhatsApp in the States, do you? But it's like
heard of it. I've never used it.
Yeah, it's just like iMessage, but for some reason everybody over here, I don't really know. It's weird, but it's basically iMessage. But we just send each other these songs back and forth. You know, if he came up with an idea, he'd send it to me, and I'd give my 2 cents on it, and vice versa. And yeah, it was one of them. I just sent him this very early version of this song, which had a different verse and like a pretty different chorus, and he hit back and said he liked it, but why didn't I try and make? And he said he sent his version of the chorus back and said, oh, I don't know if it's too Ramonesy, because to give you a reference, it sounds a little bit like well, this is what people have told me. It sounds a little bit like Bonzo Goes to Bitburg by the Ramones, a little bit like melodically, but I really liked what he like his spin on it. So I was like, wicked. So, and then I put my spin on his spin and had the chorus. And then I knew the chorus was the chorus. So then I wasn't happy with the verses. I was like, you know, I had these verses that went, I've got piss poor luck and a head that's full up and the ice is wafer thin, which I actually think is lyrically is quite cool. But I decided to sack it off, and then I went to hang out with Toby at his flat on the Isle of Wight, and yeah, I was like, "What do you think of this song?" And played it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, cool." And he sat on the drum kit and sort of played it through with me, and then we wrote new verse, melody, and then I sort of did the lyrics over time. And then there's an outro part, which is like some lyrics from an old song that I wrote, and that I like threw over the top of the outro. So that, like, we were saying about it, trying to jam everything into 2 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. Yeah, it's another one of them,
No, how like, was it recently recorded? I mean, was this like recorded like right away and put out? Did you record this a while back? When did this get
we integrated it into the live set.
Nice.
So we would have been playing that like a year ago. So we've been playing as a band for a while, and then we had a little bit of a discussion where we were like, okay, like, I think it's time to like get some new music out there. And for me, it was the obvious choice. It was a new song that we all liked, that we knew where we were at with. So yeah, we recorded it like a month ago.
Oh shit! Really recent.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just picking up my slider. That's kind
of
yeah, it's really recent. Yeah, a month ago. Yeah. And then my friend Mike Curtis mixed it for us, and he's done loads of cool records that we love. And yeah, it's like been a really nice, produced by me, mixed by Mike, played by the boys, and yeah, I'm really excited for people to hear it.
Nice. Did anything change from, like, I mean, you're saying you were playing it live, like, I mean, was there anything that changed much when you went to record it? You guys keep it pretty much like you solidified that shit live and you kind of recorded it the same way?
Yeah, it was we sort of like have this tendency to, when the pressure's on, we sort of like, we start cooking. Like when we go, okay, we have to fucking record this song tomorrow, then suddenly it's like the ideas come. So I think the second verse changed the most, in the sense that we all just played less. I don't play at all. And Theo added this cool, like, sort of Motown Jackson 5 little bass. It's like a fucking 1 second maybe, but it's like a dum, dum, and we added that. And then we were like, okay, then fucking stop playing. So then it's just the drums. And I remember we just spent a lot of time, like I was saying about drum fills and stuff, like we just sort of spent fucking ages like going through the drums and making sure the kick pattern was right, and then the fills were right, and then same on the bass. And the guitar and my parts were sort of, we knew they were done, because it was just, when do I play, when do I not play? The lyrics, the melodies were done. So I think it changed an appropriate amount. It's hardly a different song, but it feels, it's a record now. It's a song that is done, whereas before it was a work in progress. Whereas not that now. It's a banger.
Nice. It's all, I mean, again, it's always great to get new music, and even though it feels like, oh shit, new music, like already, again, going back to it, that not like at all. You wrote this first, or Best of Beach Punk so long ago. It's like, fuck yeah. Time for more. I'm sure this more represents, like you were talking about where you're at currently as a songwriter.
Yeah, well, we're itching to just fucking. Also, I think people have short memories. Like, people fucking. We released a fucking record a year ago. Like, fucking, who gives a shit? Like, nobody fucking is good. People obviously do remember it and hopefully still listen to it. But in the grand scheme of life, and there's however fucking many billion people out there. To the rest of the fucking world, we're still brand new, and we have to treat it that way. And yeah, I think for the people that are into it, hopefully they'll be excited at the idea of new music, because also going back to the 20 minutes thing, like, that's a double-edged sword, because we also did only put out 20 minutes worth of music, and that's not a lot, so people are probably itching for more. So yeah, but yeah, I'm really excited, man. I think and as obviously a radio host yourself, I wonder whether I could be so brave to say that it's probably the best radio song that we've done.
Ooh, fuck yeah! It'll be played on the radio too. We'll see how it matches. I feel like it'll vibe well. It sounds good then. Like, perfect place to play it.
Yeah, baby.
It's wild. I mean, by the time people hear this, I'll have heard the song. But yeah, as of now, I'm like, fuck yeah, this sounds very, very cool. I'm very excited.
Well, I could send you a link, but I also feel like maybe I'll keep you on your toes, and you can wait with the rest of the world.
Right? Maybe.
After all this fucking anticipation, I mean, fuck. I think, I don't know, but I think you'll like it. I think I know. We've spoken enough, and I think I wonder whether it'll be your favorite. I think it could be your favorite. I think it could dethrone Daisy.
Ooh, god damn! I'm excited to hear this. Now, I mean, on top of, I mean, again, on top of the new song, I mean, if you are, if you're over in the UK, you're about to hit the road with another amazing band. I fucking love both of you. We've had Lovebreakers on the show. They put out one of my favorite records of 2021. You put out one of my favorite records of 2022. Now you're hitting the road. I mean, are you guys set for that? Do you kind of know the set list? Do you know what you're playing? Like, are you all ready for the tour?
Well, I was thinking about it today. I was on the treadmill in the gym today, and I was doing a walk, just an incline walk, just burning some fucking calories, man, trying to get that heart pumping and whatever. And I was fucking sweating bullets. I was fucking drenched in sweat, and I was thinking, fucking hell, we need to make our set shorter. And so I think we're going to cut some fucking songs. And yeah, but I was also thinking about it from like a objective musical standpoint as well. And I was like, man, like I just want to go and play fucking 20 minutes. But I know that we're going to play a Replacements cover. We're going to play Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And that's going to feature Chino of Lovebreakers. He's going to come on stage with us.
Nice.
They're all dear friends of mine. Like I love them all. I love them all so much. And I'm super excited to tour with them. So I'm trying to like the idea of like making it like a thing, like bringing Chino on stage with us and making a thing of it. So I know that we're going to play that. And yes, John, I was thinking of probably my fucking resentment for Seaside Scampi came from my treadmill fucking monologue earlier when I was thinking I don't want to play that song anymore. So
which,
yeah,
correctly last time, that's like a fan favorite, right? It's kind of a hard one not to play. If I recall us talking about this, it's one you almost have to play in the set.
Well, our manager fucking loves it. Like I remember well, no, I don't want him to watch this and think that I don't know. I regret saying that. But I remember when he watched us for the first time because he signed us during COVID, so he hadn't seen us. The record came out before he'd even seen us play. And we played a show in London, and he'd come, and I was like, what did you think? And what's your favorite tune? And he loved it. He thought he was like, oh, well, you're basically rapping. He was like, I think it's quite cool. And I was like, I don't want to be Ed Sheeran. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to rap. So, but I really value his opinion. I mean, he's played in fucking he played in Gallows, which I don't know how much that means to you.
Yeah, no, they're a good band. Yeah, no, I know Gallows.
Yeah, wicked band. So I really trust his opinion, but also it's fucking exhausting, man. It's like, do you know how hard it is to like sing that fucking song and also like move your body? Like, fuck, it's exhausting. So yeah, I think the plan is to cut the set and just make it shorter.
All Replacements covers. Just cut it. We're just doing all Replacements covers now.
Well, I'd fucking love that. I'd love to do that. And yeah, the fact that we're every now and then we get compared to the Replacements, or not compared, but people say they can hear Paul Westerberg in the songs, and I struggle to be anything but greatly humbled and flattered by that because he's just a fucking genius. So yeah, hopefully we do it justice. I think with Chino on the fucking lead guitar, I mean, he's an amazing guitar player. I think he could fucking save the day.
I mean, obviously, those dudes and everything, and I mean, you just went on fucking tour with them with Social Distortion stuff. But have you guys have Lovebreakers and Reminders had a chance to play much throughout the years? I mean, I take it you've played before together, but I mean, have there been like tour runs or anything like that with them, or has it just kind of been like one-offs?
Yeah, we did on the Best of Beach Punk tour. They supported us in Birmingham. That was it. But like I toured with them, but where the tour was. The first day that we all got in the van in Birmingham was I think the first day that I'd met all of them, other than Christian, who's like a dear friend now. But yeah, I think I just sort of sat in the van with these like fucking 5 strangers and was like, let's fucking do it. Here we go. We're about to spend 8 weeks together.
Yeah, now you're going on tour with them. Nice. I mean, we got new music from Reminders. We got a tour. And I mean, actually, I'm sure you don't have the dates off the top of your head, but do you remember like the day it starts and everything for people?
Oh, okay. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Okay, so on the 27th, we're in Todmorden, which I don't know. Did you see my Instagram the other day of that person correcting that how you pronounce it.
Oh shit, I did. Yes, I did. I did see that.
I called it Todmorden, but it's Todmorden, I've been told by a mildly aggressive local via Instagram. But that's not with Lovebreakers. That's supporting Meryl Streak, who's on our label in the UK. Then you should check out. Is an Irish artist. It's very Irish, political. So I don't know how much it will resonate with you, because to be honest, a lot of it goes over my head, because Ireland is obviously totally independent politically. But yeah, so we're supporting him. Fucking, he's wicked. So that's the 27th of January. That's in Todmorden. And then the next day, on the 29th, the dates with Lovebreakers start, and we're in Glasgow on the 29th at a venue called the Old Hairdressers. And just for full transparency, my eyes are darting all around the place, but I promise you, I do not have the fucking dates in front of me. The 29th, we're playing the Old Hairdressers in Glasgow. The 30th, I think we're playing in Nottingham. I don't know why I said that so weird. Nottingham, at a place called Bodega. Then we're playing the Castle in Manchester. Then we're playing the Black Heart in Camden in London, which is, I've heard nothing but great things as a venue, although I've not been myself. Then we're playing Moles in Bath. So that's the 2nd of Feb. London would have been the 1st. And then we're playing the Flapper in Birmingham on the 3rd of February. And I think I've just fucking absolutely nailed it. But
that was impressive.
We'll check the fucking poster, because I could be absolutely wrong. Those are definitely the places we're going. Whether I've forgotten a date, maybe, and whether the dates are accurate is fucking probably quite unlikely. But yeah,
I'm still impressed by that. Either way,
I'm buzzing. I can't wait. 2 weeks. Fucking, let's do it.
I mean, I'm impressed. I thought I was throwing you on the spot. I didn't know that if you would know it at all. That was really good. That was quite good.
I'm media trained.
People over there need to. I mean, if you threw grade 2 on that lineup, you'd basically have like the 3 best fucking UK bands doing it right now.
Well, interestingly, actually, 1/3 of grade 2 is coming on the tour, because Jack's driving. Nice. Yeah, so Jack is. Jack, bless his heart, man. Out of the goodness of his soul, is coming along for the ride. So, I can't wait.
I love it, because I love all 3 of your bands, and I don't think I really realized all these connections until talking to you last time. I didn't even know you mixed that acoustic grade 2. I can't think of it, but the acoustic one, I didn't even know you fucking mixed that. And I was like, yeah, I love that album. Had no clue you had anything to do with it.
It was a really cool moment, like when the penny dropped. And it's interesting. I think, I don't know, like recently in my life, my friends have just become, people I work with and people I admire. It's really cool, man. Like, a lot of the good people in my life are people that I really fucking respect and admire. And, I feel super grateful, like, that my friends are not only great people, to have in your life, but also fucking talented musicians who are killing it. And, it's a great privilege. And yeah.
No, you got a good camp over there. You're definitely part of a good camp. Lots of good music coming out of there. I mean, so we do have, you're talking a little Transatlantics, and I mean, as we close this out, I still have to just kind of get to it a little bit, just let people know there is a song out. There is music for people to go check out from Transatlantics. Your side project, would you say, with the dudes from grade 2?
Yeah.
Project.
I think you have to call it a side project. I think, unfortunately, I wish it wasn't a side project. I wish it could be done in complete conjunction with Reminders in grade 2, although I think that's unrealistic. So, but yeah, Transatlantics. It's spelled transit, like the Ford Transit van, and then space Lantics, which is like really dumb, but whatever. And yeah, so it's me and Jack from grade 2, and then our friend Toby, who is a really fucking talented guy, and he's played in some wicked bands himself. This band called, he played in grade 2 for a little bit as well. He doesn't now, but Jacob, who plays drums in grade 2, stepped back from the band momentarily, and Toby a drum for grade 2. So, but yeah, he was in a band called Dreamer Joe, who haven't been a thing for a very long time, but when he was like 15 or 16, and they're really cool, man. Like, still to this day, they've got an EP out called Kick and Scream, which is well worth checking out. So that's Toby's background. And yeah, and so we sort of, during COVID, Jack and I were writing like loads of songs together. and he was also writing with Toby as well, so he sort of merged worlds, and yeah, oh my god, man, like honestly, this is going to sound really like gushy, but some of the best memories of my life, like we'd meet up and we'd stay at Toby's for a weekend and we'd write and record, and we have a whole EP recorded, five songs, yeah. But yeah, we put out the first single, Keep It, on Wiretap Records, and unfortunately, just because of particularly Jack, he's so busy with Grade 2, like they're like a real machine when it comes to touring and putting out music and everything. So yeah, we're finding it hard to like be able to commit to it. So right now it's just a bit of fun for people's listening pleasure. But you know, Keep It, you know, is one of my favorite songs I've ever been a part of writing. You know, I'm so proud of that song. So proud of that song. And like I say, there's 5 or 4 more that I just need to mix now. I mixed Keep It, and yeah, I don't know when they'll see the light of day, but they will. I'm confident that they will. But yeah, it's well exciting, man. It's fucking, yeah, it's wicked.
I love it. And Keep It's a great song. We'll also play it after this for people so they can hear it. But like, what I like about it is, I mean, you can hear the reminders in the Grade 2, but it's not a rehash. You guys aren't like Keep It doesn't sound like a reminder song or just a straight up Grade 2 song or something. Like, again, you hear the elements, obviously it's your voice on and everything, but like it is something different. It's not just like, oh, I'm over here doing more of the same with this other guy. Like, it does feel different, you know?
Yeah, well, I hope so. And yeah, I think it's cool. It's like a really fucking cool chance to experiment. Like, it's gonna sound fucking really dumb, but like, there's 12-string guitar on it. Like, and like production wise, there's stuff that we wouldn't or couldn't, or we feel we can't do, or things we wouldn't like to do in our bands at the moment that we're doing. You know, like there's fucking cowbell and vibra slap, and you know, and we just had so much fun, and it's not in vain. It's not like there's not loads of shit piled on for no reason. It just works. And I think, to be honest with you, I have to give Toby so much credit for everything in that band, particularly Keep It, because it's his riff. The dun, 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 that's his riff. And we wrote the song together, but it's his riff, and yeah, he just brought like such an element to that band and the record, and you know, he was the one really pushing for it to, you know, go different places. And fucking, I love the guy, and that band is in another life. That band is fucking winning Grammys. I'm sure of it.
Nice. No, I mean, lots of good stuff coming out from you. Where do people go find all this shit? We go find your tour dates, we find you online, get your music. Where do we find all that stuff? Where do we send people now?
Send people to Reminders the band across social media. Just type that in and we'll appear. And then yeah, and then there'll be a link. I mean, people know how social media works. You'll find the link, click the link, and it's all there. But yeah, the new single is International Dial Tones, and it's out on Ven Records and Wiretap Records, January 20th. And we're hitting the road with Lovebreakers. And thank you so much for making our record your record of the year. And thanks for having me. And it's been a pleasure. And I genuinely hope we get to do this a load more times, because I have so much fun every time.
Oh, dude, no, of course you will be back. And I mean, like we've mentioned, maybe the transatlantic guys get everybody in here, do a big ass interview.
That's the motive. Maybe we'll do it when we're on tour and I'm with Jack.
Maybe. That's the best. I mean, honestly, yeah. If you're together anyways, it's like, might as well. You can jump on here.
Talk about it. We'll do it in the back of the Grade 2 van, perhaps. That sounds suspect. We won't do that in the back of the Grade 2 van. We will have an interview. Or maybe we'll do that in the back of the Grade 2 van. You know, desperate times call for desperate measures when you're on the road. The Grade 2 van, I'm sure, has seen much worse.
Gas money.
Yeah, you need gas money. Come on, guys. It's 2023. We're all struggling.
Oh man, no, Leo. I mean, always a pleasure talking to you. And we're gonna play some new reminders now for people. International dial tones. I already fucked it up. I thought I was I already did. So let's do this. Is like when I had Lovebreakers on, I called them Heartbreakers at the end. It's the same fucking. I was gonna butcher the whole time. It's like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, and then you say it. But no, you were about to hear International Dial Tones. Great new song from Reminders right here on the Power Chord Hour.